Good morning and welcome to the mid-morning show here on TalkSport. You're listening to myself, the Portmeister, Mike Parry, and of course MG on my left here.
Good morning, Mr. Parry.
Yeah, good morning, Mike, and what a weekend really, because of course it was the culmination of the world's top football competition. But that in itself is the problem. That is the problem, Mike, from last night. What I saw last night was not fit to grace a Sunday morning local League Cup final, let alone the World Cup final. I put it down to the Dutch. I mean, their attitude last night was, we're the Dutch, take that in the crutch, which I thought was a horribly cynical attitude to...
Or in the chest.
Or in the chest, absolutely. And it was a horribly cynical attitude towards making them seem to be the team that has inherited the right to win the World Cup. Yeah. They thought they had the right to win the World Cup because it's the third World Cup final and they haven't won the previous two, okay?
And they took the view they just weren't skillful enough to beat Spain.
Well, they took the view that they could boot Spain out the competition. Now, I tell you what, it was so cynical because they started right from the whistle, right from the off, they started launching into Spain, and they knew that if they put Mr. Webb under enough pressure, he'd have to start booking players early, but he couldn't then start sending players off. I mean, goodness gracious, Van Bronckhorst should have been booked about 4 times before he eventually went into the book, and could easily have been sent off. And as for De Jong on Alonso, I mean, it's ludicrous, a ludicrous challenge, and it should never ever have been allowed. Now,
and Howard-Webb never saw it.
Howard-Webb did a brilliant job because you could see that the Dutch had planned to try and confuse Mr. Webb by constantly surrounding him with protest, by constantly niggling away, by making Mr. Webb have to decide, hang on, is that another booking I've got to put in my book here? I've already got 8 in, is that going to be 9? And all the time putting the pressure on him. It was dreadfully cynical and it was horribly un-Dutch, and that's why I'm so glad that the Spanish won. Now, we've got listeners in Holland, we hear from them all the time. I want to hear from you, please, and of course all you people in England. 08717 223344. Were the Dutch so cynically bad last night that they should be reprimanded and, in my view, even perhaps banned from the forthcoming European Championships, because what they did last night was a scar on world football, an absolute scar. It was horrible.
Well, certainly something should be done, even if the entire Dutch team are not in some way reprimanded or in some way punished. I can't understand how Nigel de Jong can get away with what he did. That was no different, by the way, from what Eric Cantona did to a fan. It was a kung fu kick, very high up in the chest, and it was only just below his throat. This guy should be banned for a year, just like Cantona was.
Well, I agree with you. I think he should be banned, and I think several of those Dutch players should be banned, and also I think Dutch officials should be reprimanded for the way they surrounded Mr. Webb at the end, trying to make out it was his fault that they'd lost the World Cup final. It wasn't. It was their fault for being nasty, brutal, cynically, horribly un-Dutch. Okay, give us a call please, 08717 223344, or text us on 81089, or email us via the website at talksport.net. You're listening to myself, the Portmeister, and MG Graham here on TalkSport, where it's 8 minutes past 10. Right, welcome again. Well, Mike, I have to say that I watched it with increasing horror last night. I tell you, a mate of mine actually rang and said, I'm not letting my lad watch any more of this. This is shocking. He said, this is supposed to be a World Cup final. I'm sitting down there. I want him to watch the game to which we should all aspire to want to play in one of these days. If you're a professional footballer, let's face it, not many of us are, but we should all aspire to one of these days saying, I'd love to go to a World Cup final watching them playing it. And I tell you what, you know, thank God England weren't involved in that debacle last night in any other form than the referee, who did a brilliant job.
Well, the most disturbing thing about it is not necessarily that they decided to go in hard on every single challenge. It was the fact that they had worked out that this guy Howard-Webb is under so much pressure that he won't want to send anybody off, because then he'll be accused of ruining the World Cup final. So they'd already made that calculation, so it was even actually worse. It wasn't just the heat of the moment, it wasn't just, this is a very exciting game, I'm sorry I'm a bit fired up, I've gone in a bit hard. This was them clearly setting out in the dressing room before they went out, if all of us start doing the same thing, he can't send us all off.
That's why I think that they should be reprimanded in some way. They started a cynical plan which is contrary to the rules and the laws of football, but what we'll do is we'll kick our way to the World Cup. We can do that because if we all start kicking, Howard-Webb can't send us all off, for the very reasons you've just explained. Let's go straight to the lines. Lots of people are as angry as I'm about this. Let's talk to Kenny, who's a Rangers fan in Glasgow. Hi, Kenny.
Hi, good morning, Mike.
Thanks, mate. I mean, I'm outraged.
I cannot believe that the Dutch, I mean, I've been a Rangers fan, I've got a Dutch connection with a few ex-players and ex-manager, but I can't believe the Dutch coach is actually complaining. If it wasn't for Howard-Webb, his team would have been down to 7 men. There could have been at least 4 sending off, 2 in the first half, 2 in the second.
I agree.
He got absolutely demolished, 4 or 5-0 then, so he did everything he could to make it 11 versus 11. He gave them so many chances. And he allowed Robin. I mean, Robin was right through on goal. If the manager wants to pick fault at a guy who missed an absolute sitter,
But then Robin chases after Mr. Webb and starts getting into his face, chasing him all over the pitch. I mean, literally chasing him all over the pitch.
There was a certain Mr. Rooney was picked out and was told not to chase after referees and not to do this, that. The next thing, I watched Parry+Robin give an absolute tirade of abuse to Webb, and Webb did well not reacting to it.
I know, he's absolutely...
And if anything, your man Webb's probably the most efficient Englishman that was in the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's done an absolute fantastic job, and he should be applauded getting off the plane.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Kenny, thank you very much indeed. Kenny, Rangers fan in Glasgow.
I'll tell you what, you said to me on Friday, right, that Howard Webb, because he got the World Cup final and was flying the flag for England and for Great Britain, he should get a knighthood. Do you still think he should get a knighthood?
Yes,
after that performance?
Yes, I certainly do.
After missing that high kick?
Hang on, Mike.
I don't think he should get a knighthood now.
The high kick, that was the whole plan. That was the whole Dutch plan, was to make this man so confused that he doesn't know that he's coming or going, and they did that very, very cynically indeed. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe that this was the Dutch that Johan Cruyff once wore the same coloured shirt as these guys.
Well, Johan Cruyff says today he doesn't understand why Howard Webb keeps getting these big games. He says there are many great referees in England. Why does this guy get great games? Because he saw him in Champions League football and he doesn't think he's up to it. Yes, and I don't think he is actually, because he should not have allowed so much of it to go on.
Mate,
he shouldn't have allowed it to go on.
How on earth can you say that?
How can he have missed that kick?
Well, hang on.
Never mind that kick. Everybody knew it was a straight red.
He didn't miss the kick, he booked the guy, right? Now this was another example...
So he knew it was a kick and he didn't think he would send him off.
It's another example of the fact that he knew that if he started sending people off, you've got to understand this, Mike, once you send somebody off, every other decision you then make is measured by that previous decision. You understand what I mean? It's almost like a footballing precedent. Right, he went off, so what am I going to have to do next? And then you've got to weigh up, hang on, was that as bad as the last one? Was it as good as the last one? Mr. Webb's job was to keep 22 players on the pitch, as you've already stated.
Why is that
because that's how a football final has to be played.
No, but see, that's where I think he's got it wrong, because in his mind he's thinking,
you think he should have been sending people off in the first half?
I think he should have sent a couple of people off in the first half, absolutely.
Well, I think you misunderstand. I think you misunderstand.
That's then the Dutch problem. They can't then say, we couldn't have won the World Cup with 9 men. That would have been the way to stop them behaving like that. You
know exactly what would have happened if he'd have done that. He'd have had Sepp Blatter down on his case within 5 minutes in the game, saying, well, I thought the referee was heavy-handed.
So the rules don't matter, in other words?
The rules do matter, but it's like anything in life. You've got to have compromises within yourself to try and get a result. It's the same in politics, where sometimes you've got to punish one particular section of society in order to help another, and it's exactly the same in football. He couldn't possibly have sent those players off in the first half.
Right, how can you explain why Jong stayed on the pitch then? How can you explain it?
I can only explain this, that Nelson Mandela was brought onto the pitch before the game at 91 years of age and very frail, and coerced, politically by a number of organisations at the World Cup, because this was the rainbow country, it was the first one in Africa, and it was a massively important staging post for the history of the game. Right. Really. And what I am certain was in Howard Webb's head, because he's a highly intelligent policeman, who's obviously also a referee, was thinking, hang on, I don't want history to record the fact that the first ever World Cup final that took place of the continent of Africa ended up with 9 men on one side and 10 on the other, and that it was ruined by an overzealous referee, because that's the way history man have told it. I believe that to be absolutely true, and I think Mr. Webb had no choice but to adopt leniency. And he did.
Well, that's very wrong.
And I think it's wrong that the Dutch took advantage of that and knew that they were going to be the beneficiaries of it.
Because he played into their hands, because they worked that out before they went on. They knew that he couldn't send them off because of what you've just described, and they took advantage. And I think that's absolutely disgraceful.
Well, the Dutch definitely took advantage. I'm so glad the Spanish won. Right, you know the number, 08717 223344, or text us on 81089, or email us via the website at talksport.net. You're listening to the Portmeister, Mike Parry and MG Graham here on Talksport, where it is rapidly coming up to 10:15.